Now this was a bit more interesting. I have to say, I have read this manga a lot recently. Maybe because I finally decided to watch the third season, and I have enjoyed it so far. Yes, this is Boku no Hero Academia 194 of chapters, only 6 left until we reach 200. And it's me, the angry anime fan. An old face from a very long time has returned. And the only question is, will that bring despair? We'll get to that later if I remember it. Either way, Deku decides to go out on a run when he cannot fall asleep after last incident, and so he actually wonders what is that. We see a powerful scene of all the previous One for All wielders. I have to say that scene is very powerful for some reason. Before the dream ended, oh yeah, did I introduce myself as the angry anime fan to bring you the chapter in Boku no Hero Academia? Before the dream ended, we not only saw the first eyes briefly, but also when he stretched out his hand to grab Deku's, all the other predecessors did the same. We saw all of them clearly, so to speak. One was, we saw Nana Shimura. We saw a bald man with goggles that he had a strict but loving smile. We saw a guy with tattoos like there, which looks pretty strict. A guy with a trench coat, and then a guy who's on fire. I mean, is the guy on fire All Might because he's technically still alive? Either way, he asks about this from All Might, and it's revealed that All Might has also seen these memories before, because when he had that, uh, his master told him about it. However, when Deku says to All Might that the first actually talked to him about 20% and the singularity, All Might is at a loss of words. It turns out that the first never spoke to All Might. No, nor did he talk to Nana Shimura. It's not even confirmed if he has talked to any of the previous One for All users, but for some reason he reached out to Deku. I cannot help by feeling that that means something. It's amazing, really. For some reason, this feels powerful. I don't know why. We see a flashback on when he trained together with Nana Shimura, who mentioned that although she didn't know what those things were, she believed that after the users died, their will and ambitions would still live on inside of One for All, meaning that even if she dies, part of her will always be a part of One for All, because that's just what kind of thing it is. It's romantic, really, as we see her eyes clearly for the first time. Although technically we have seen it already clearly in the anime, although I don't really know if that counts. So it's mean that the question I am wondering though, does every single One for All user leave a part of their spirit unwillingly behind in One for All? Or is it, that they leave a part of themselves inside One for All but they do not know it yet? Meaning that even if they die, they will not die, so to speak. I'm not saying this is a one and I must scream moment, but more like their spirits live on inside One for All to guide all the other users. I mean, One for All has always been a powerful quirk, don't get me wrong, but it always seems to imply that there's more to this powerful quirk than we can understand. All Might doesn't know what it is, but he volunteers that they need to find out what it does mean. And it's also worth noting that Deku mentions that the last two he couldn't see, they were blurry. Is that also meant to imply something? But All Might is assuring Deku that the power is definitely on his side and they will find out the truth together, as he praises Nana Shimura for being a beautiful woman, and she was. And then later we run into Eraserhead, as well as a familiar face. Yeah, it's none other than Shinso, who is back on it all. And why? Well, it turns out that he's finally gonna move into that one. Not that I'm happy about that, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, the team suits up in a thing where, well, they all have their winter clothes, although technically Invincible Girl Toro is still is invincible. Invisible. So it's kind of funny when Jiro asks her, "Aren't you cold? I'm freezing." So well, all of them have winter clothes. Bakugo has also a cool new suit, although he doesn't like when Deku praises him. And Deku himself has also changed in the costume. But Ushako still tries to, well, keep the jealousy of it all away. As Class B finally shows themselves, and of course Momaka, still being the large ham, scrappy character that he is, says that this is a showdown between us all. As we almost see all of them in their winter clothes and well, clothing. Not all of them, though. There are some missing. I do not see Pony Tsunuri here. I hope, and I do not see Ibara either. Either way, Momona shows a even more craziness, as he also explains that. Um, uh, so, so it appears that. It appears though that everyone voted what was best, and according to numerous rating, it was B. But as Kendo gets close to once again punch him, the one who actually stops Momora for continue talking is none other than Eraserhead. As Blood King says that they're gonna be joined by a new recruit that perhaps, if he can provide enough good development, will join the hero department. And who is that? Well, it's none other than Shinso Hitoshi, who, by the way, has a disguise very similar to Eraserhead. I guess that is meant to imply that the theories were correct. If you recall, there have been some scenes that's with Hitoshi or Shinso has actually been walking around with Eraserhead for something else. And there's also been other implications that he has been training his body. And he could also do this to a board too. So, is it not far fetched to say that maybe Eraserhead has become some sort of mentor to Shinso? I mean, in a way, their quirks and their personalities are just similar. They both have tired eyes, they're both jerks because of different reasons, and also their quirks are not used for destruction, but can be used if they're used more effectively. I mean, Eraserhead can erase a quirk temporarily, meaning that he can bind people and attack them, and that makes him perfect for cooperations. While Shinso's power allow him to brainwash someone to stop them in their tracks and temporarily control them. That's basically, I mean, he didn't like his quirk because he didn't think it's flashy enough. But I think I remember when I saw that. I think Shinzo was just too much of a sore loser. And I'm not saying that because he doesn't have a flashy quirk. I'm saying because that quirk can be useful. Yes, not in destruction. It must be used in a different way, and Shinzo didn't realize that. So it makes sense that someone with like Eraserhead would teach, you know, someone like Shinzo, who has another quirk that is used for, uh, I wouldn't say cooperation or stealth, technique rather than power. But he hasn't been transferred to heroes yet. No, he still will do this. The only question is now, is he gonna work together with anyone? I don't think he will. After all, he hates Class A and the Hero Department because he's jealous of their awesome quirks. Not to mention that Tailman and Deku still have some fear of Shinso because of his quirk. However, Class B is finally joining them. I was actually beginning to wonder if we were gonna get some scenes of Class B, but Momoka, the copycat guy. I mean, I have to say, I know it's all for comedy, but his obsession with proving Class A so much looser is honestly getting a little bit aggravating. I mean, it's almost to the point of sanity slippage, if you ask me. He's now like, like that. It's almost, it's. I think he's beginning to lose his sanity. So either he needs to get a grip and finally drop that grudge, or something else. And now talk about another thing, despair. There was someone who pointed this out. If now Shinso, who by the way has proven to be a pretty popular character despite not showing himself, I don't know why, if he now shows everything he has learned and he can be transferred to hero department, what I'm trying to say is, doesn't that mean that someone from B or A will have to go? I mean, I hope not. We have had them win with these characters for far too long. Don't kick them out. I mean, if you kick out Phantom Thief, I don't complain. But if you kick out the rest, I will complain. So the question is now, what's gonna happen? Also, another thing, don't you think Shinso's quirk will be very good if to find out the mole? Couldn't he just brainwash someone and actually make them confess everything? Hmm. And finally, another thing. There's a lot of talk about this mole thing. Are we now gonna move into that storyline of this this manga? Because if I were gonna make a wish, who I wish to be the mole, if there now is a mole in the students, I wish it would be Phantom Thief because he's becoming more and more dislikable. Although I think that's just the point. He is dislikable guy, but he's not the mole because that would be too obvious. So yeah, everyone seems to look forward to Shinso, but I cannot help by shaking there's the despair in the air. However, he greeted Deku pretty casually and not so hostility, so maybe he's finally mature as a character. We'll see. Give me your thoughts if you have any, like and subscribe if you want to.